Hey guys, welcome to the Southern Mud Podcast, where we travel across the country from all of our dealerships to meet different people, tell about the experiences and all the life lessons I've learned along the way and all the wonderful people I've met. Hey, what's up, man?
Not a lot. Happy to be here.
Yeah, glad you came. Guys, today we have Brandon Schadt. He is the manager up at Southern Mud Midwest, and we are glad to have him down here. He's doing some training, learning some tricks of the trade down here at the Waverly location. And man, what a perfect time to get him behind the camera and kind of tell y'all a lot of, how you and I got introduced to each other and tell all the stories over, I don't know, seems like 15 years maybe, 12.
Been a long time.
12 years we've, hung out and best friends for, since day one pretty much.
Yeah.
I guess Brandon, got to know him through the Southern Light, of course, where a lot of my relationships started. And he set up a dealership where he wanted to install our lights up in the Iowa Davenport location. And he did that on the side. And I guess you can kind of tell him how you got started in that, and then kind of how, I guess, you, got into the lighting and tricking out everybody's rigs and stuff out there.
Yeah, well, at first it starts with the salesman of Nelson Rhyne. It starts with the salesman who, searching on the internet looking for a spotlight of some sort. We were all running handheld lights at that time and looking left, looking right, constantly trying to move and trying to get a light that worked. And then I made that phone call to say, hey, Nelson, what's up with this Gen 1 duck boat light that you swear is the brightest light in the world? And from that moment, I mean, you guaranteed your product, you guaranteed the lifespan of the product, and told me that if I didn't like it, you'd buy it back 100%.
Yeah, that was my slogan back then. I say, yeah, you buy it and you don't like it, you can send it back and we'll give you all your money back. And to this day, I don't think I've given anybody's money back that I know of.
Yeah, you definitely did get my money back. I remember the first time I took it to our new marsh. We were hunting Lake Odessa up there, and I had a guy from across the lake when I come out and was looking for my spot, and he yelled from across the lake. We heard him when I shut down the motor. We were getting ready to start setting decoys, and I heard him say, "Cut that light off." So we knew at that point, yeah, this light's legit.
Yeah, that was what was so cool getting it done, because back then it was just, it was like an alien landed. Like, people didn't even know what these lights were, especially out on the water. They were, blinding, of course, and that's where, had to obviously be respectful and, had to learn that curve, not to piss people off, I guess you could say.
Yeah, when to turn it on, when to shut it off was definitely something you had to learn when you were running one. But I know that I had friends up there that saw, they'd see me running the marsh, and they knew right away that it was us, because the light was shining high enough that, they would see it come through the trees, and all of a sudden, like, oh, here comes Brandon's boat. Like, they knew when it was us coming.
What kind of boat were you running then?
Back then, I was running a Fowler. I had a 1760 V-point Fowler with a Pro Drive on the back. Jeez. Back then.
Not many people know what those are nowadays,
yeah.
Probably.
No, they were, back in the day, they were a pretty solid boat, but they just didn't, longevity wasn't there, and I don't even know if they make them anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember everybody, it's kind of like, I guess, the Timber Creek and Prodigy of your modern time. Fowler was kind of a really cool custom boat to have back then. I remember they were known as a tank.
Yep.
Pretty much.
And then graduated into the second time I came down to see you. So I'm selling Southern Light LED. I've been doing it for a while. I got into tournament cat fishing, and then I called you up and said, hey, I bought a brand new Pro Cat, and I need lights on it.
What did it have on it then? Had something you didn't like on it?
Well, it did. It was covered up in rigid lights.
Oh my God.
And so being a Southern Light dealer, I was like, man, I got to get this thing lit up. And so I called you and I said, hey, I got a new boat. It's covered in rigid, but I want Southern Light on it. And you basically said, well, if you show up down here, I'll help you get it going.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, I don't know what your thought of it was, but.
Yeah, I think you probably sent me pictures of the boat maybe, and I was like, oh my goodness. And that was when you had a wrap company on the side almost.
Yep.
It's this huge 22 foot, 24 foot? 24 foot catfish boat that's fully wrapped, and I was like, heck yeah, I want to have my lights all over that thing. And
that's what it was. I put a brand new wrap on. I had Southern Light logo on the wrap, but I had rigid all the way around it.
I was like, I got to do something about this.
We got to do something. I got a big tournament coming up. So
So yeah, I get a call and it's like, hey man, I'm gonna come down, and I'm thinking, okay, you're in Iowa. I know you're 18 hours away from where I am at least, because my wife's family's from Iowa. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Come on, man, whenever, kind of you throw something out there and never think somebody actually take you up on it. And then I think you called me and was like, yeah, I'm coming. And I was like, yeah, sure. You got tournaments. And I think you called me and said, hey, I'm 2 hours out. And I was like, what?
Yeah. And then I think, it was like, I think when I got to your shop, it ended up being, it was like 4:30 in the morning or something. And then I messaged you and said, hey, I'm here, but I'm going to sleep in the truck. And you didn't answer, you were asleep. But then, I remember you showing up at the shop at, 7 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was. And you're like, holy cow, you're here.
Yeah. Yeah, I never forget when I saw you, and I was like, I don't know if I caught you from a profile walk-in or something like that, but you had, I don't know, I couldn't tell at first what was wrong with your hair, but I didn't know if it's how you slept on it or what. And sure enough, you turn around, and I'm telling you, this guy's got a full-blown catfish carved in his hair, in the hair, not in his head, but in his hair. And I don't know, it was you explained to some famous guy?
Yeah, so there's a guy back home on the Moline side that does professional hair cutting. He does competitions and stuff, and he went ahead and cut a catfish in the back of my head, and it was going to be a moment where I knew it was going to get publicity. I knew people were going to see what the heck. But we were going to the River Monsters tournament, and so we were going to be at the Bass Pro Pyramid. I was going to be around a bunch of people. I think that weekend I actually got to eat dinner with Bill Dance. So everybody saw it, and everywhere I went, to Academy Sports, to Bass Pro, people were taking pictures of the back of my head. And
I guarantee it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So I bet that was pretty crazy, showing up at the pyramid with that all in your hair.
Yeah, it was.
I think you're number one on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, but Google search. You can tell everybody where to go see that picture.
It's pretty easy to be number one. I don't know how many catfish haircuts are out there, but if you type in catfish haircut, the first
you're
picture
number one.
That's right. It does come up first.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So it was pretty cool. You came down. We tricked your boat out.
We did.
It's still. I got pictures of it all over my website, and heck, it's all over social media, and heck, it's still running. It's on a big YouTube channel now.
Yeah.
What's that YouTube channel? I forget, but
yeah,
what that was. But and shoot, I guess we. After that, heck, we were hooked. We were hunting and filming videos. I think Leighton was up there with us filming some stuff, and
shooting videos, shooting pictures. We came to Arkansas to duck camp, and we were hunting down there. I'll never forget my first time. It was opening day, and it was kind of crazy. We held the hole, and back then we were able to basically camp out on the bank, and they let us have fires and stuff. So we went out for the first. We held it the whole day, and then so we were out there for the first couple hours in the day, and then came back in the afternoon, and then some other younger kids held it all night, and then we came back out there at midnight, 1 in the morning, whatever it was, and we couldn't access it until 4 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And so we ran in and got the hole, had a heck of a day. And I'll never forget the one of the grown men that we were with shot into a single that was leading a pack of 30, 40 birds coming in. And I remember you lost your cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, first time that's ever happened. You shoot into a group, I kind of tell everybody, some of these people are some of the people I bring, because I take a lot of enjoyment showing people it for the first time, showing them the timber, showing them duck hunting. They've seen it on videos, but nothing is like experience it. So we're sitting there, and I tell everybody, you don't shoot till you hear somebody say shoot. And man, a single comes in, 40, 30 groups right behind them. Boom, he fires off, shoots, and we're with a big group of people I've been hunting with. And they're like, man, who's this guy you done brought down here? And so I was like, it won't happen again, won't happen again. So then I go tell them, I was like, you don't shoot until someone has shot. Sure enough, here comes another single with a big group, because it was opening day. They were piling in. You couldn't shoot the ducks out of the hole.
And not to mention, the guys that we were with are, I don't want to call them mallard purists, but they know the mallards are coming.
Yeah.
And this duck that comes in is like a wood duck, which in the timber of Arkansas, as much as everybody kills ducks, I get it, but you got a group of mallards coming, you probably shouldn't And this is my first time, so I know I'm not pulling up on that wood duck.
Yeah,
and
I
all of
didn't
a
have no
sudden,
problem with you.
out of nowhere, boom.
Yeah, second shot, boom. They're like, what in the world? Man, they're like, man, you better get your guy over there. So never had to do this before, but heck, I went up to him. I was responsible. I freaking took his gun away.
Took a grown man's gun, hung it
He
in the
looked at
tree
me
and
like,
said,
you
"You're
taking
done."
my gun? I said, yes, give me your gun. I'm putting it in the boat. You are done. Like, you are not, this is opening day. People have waited and dreamed and dreamed and dreamed all summer long for this. And here you are, and all these people are mad at me. And I was like, I didn't know what else to do.
Yep.
And to this day, we still laugh about it. Everybody's like, man, remember that time you took that guy's gun away?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Then the second day, same thing, we're sitting on the river bank, having a blast. We're sitting there. Heck, the first day I remember we're in there and Dr. Duck and them come in videoing with their big cameras and everything. And we had got the hole they were going for. And I don't know, they thought, people thought we were coming in early and all this kind of stuff. But, the experience we had up in those parts, you just can't beat experience and how to get to places. But so sure enough, we come
Day two,
we come running in, and it's a skinny run, and there wasn't no stopping. And man, we come around that big blowdown, and there's old David Evans sitting there, cuts his lights on, not enough time, almost plow him over in his boat, and he stops us, and I'm like, hey, it's me. And he's like...
And luckily your experience paid off again here, because I had my license printed. I had everything ready to go in a little dry, clear sack. And so when he asked for our license, you and I both, we were the only two in the boat. So we both whipped them out, gave them to him. He flashed them both. And then kind of like, you were like, hey, can we go?
Can we go? David, let me go. And I was like, we're going to not get the hole. And he's like, go.
Yeah,
so
and then
we
he let us go.
And man, we barely got it that second day, but we did. That was...
And he did follow through. He came back to the hole, and we let him check us. And it was
he checked us more thoroughly, and talked to him for a while.
Wouldn't tell us why or how he knew we were coming in that hole. But the other good news is we had video to show him, because we were videoing everything for the boats and for lights and everything anyway. And we had a timer set, and we had that timer on video of, hey, 4 a.m.
Yeah, we had a phone with the time on it, and then a camera videoing it that we didn't leave that river till 4 a.m. So that's some good advice if you're ever worried about getting busted. Put it on video, because they can't argue with that video evidence. And
and then you can even see when we get up to David and he's right around that blowdown, we see red and blues flashing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, cut my phone off.
Yep. Well, that's a pretty cool video.
Welcome to Arkansas.
I know. We've had a lot of fun times in the snow and all that in there. And families, you got a first time this year?
Yep. Yeah. So I wasn't able to hunt a whole lot with my shoulder injury this year. And so you had called, and I had a little bit of time off, and we came down and brought my son down for his first time to be in the Arkansas woods, and we anticipate that he shot a mallard hen. At least he for sure thinks he did. But, it was good. It was real good, and got him that experience, and had a great group of guys that weekend. It was very homely for us family members. We had most of Southern Mud down. They all had wives and kids down, and they rode four-wheelers, and it was a heck of a weekend. Yeah, the Southern Mud family is definitely all the stores. We are hardcore when it comes to duck hunting and in the outdoors. I mean, it's what we all do, our whole families. Yep. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's awesome to have everybody down. Camp was a little more advanced this year compared to years past. Yep. We had a little upgrade in anticipation of the growth of the Southern Mud family. So it's definitely working out, and was very, very nice. But yeah, it was awesome this year to just kind of sit back and be able to watch the kids and, pass all that down to them and, just watch them. I mean, heck, my oldest son's, he's 16 now. So this next year, I mean, you better believe that son of a gun's going to be holding the hole for me. I'm going to be sleeping in. He did. I mean, watching him, from years past to where we were just taking photos of him carrying a couple of ducks to him running. I mean, he ran the mud motor in the boat I was in a few days, and your boat a few days. I mean, yeah, he's had his boating license for over a year, and I mean, heck, he's been driving it since he could. I mean, physically could. And for me to be a part of that, as far as like from, not getting down, but once, twice a year usually, and just talking to you on the phone, but to see his growth and see him come, like, it's crazy how fast time flies. I know. Yeah, to watch him take my dad into the woods and just them be in their own boat and he's driving my dad in is pretty awesome experience. I mean, it really brings it,
I mean, to me, it's, you get older, you get wiser. Back in the day, we were so hardcore, and now it's, we're still as hardcore, but it's, just enjoying I hate to say it, enjoying the journey, but
Yeah, well, and that,
watching them grow in it and enjoy it just like we did.
And I feel like there's getting a little older, it's less about the competition side. Like the competition definitely drives some of them late nights where you're like, hey, I'm going to sit this hole all day, or I'm going to do these things. Like now it's a little different to enjoy it because you're watching them, and it's just a different passion.
Yeah.
Same energy, just different passion.
We were there for the youth season this year, and we're up at camp. It was 2 a.m. and, all the kids are up getting the boats ready, and we're going out waiting at the boat ramp 4 a.m. to take off. And this is a youth season, and we get all out there. We're just so excited, and the kids are so excited. We couldn't not be excited with them. So we had, going out there and, sit there and then don't see anybody for so many hours. It's like, what in the world did we do? But yeah, it's really cool to watch the kids. To me, that's the biggest part, is getting people in the sport. If not, the sport is going to die, and we are not going to have what we're already losing so much every year as it is. If we do not let these people and encourage these younger people and teach these younger people respect and how the same way we did and earn our way into the woods and all that, if we don't teach that, then they're going to get mad. We're going to, the people that are in it are going to get mad at them, and then we're all fighting each other, and then it's just going to go away. So it's so hard, and that's what every time I try to stop boat ramp anywhere and talk to people and try to encourage them and telling them, hey, we'll try this and do this and go there, and because ultimately, if we have so many drop out every single year, then it's just, we're not even going to have it anymore. It's going to be gone. So that's a real important part, to me, is to, keep the youth in it and keep the sport growing and maintaining, I guess you could say.
I know after this year, for sure, my son's hooked. He was very disappointed he couldn't come back for youth season.
Yep.
I remember him making that next year.
That won't happen again, I guarantee you. Next year he'll be there. So I guess let's talk about Iowa. We got big news up there. So
so I'll start that out with just basically saying, you've been asking me for years. We'd been good friends, and you'd been saying for years, hey, come to Alabama. We'll put you together. Let's get you working down here. I'll help you can run my Southern Light. I'm going to open Southern Mud. And then you opened Southern Mud, and I still had said, no, I'm not leaving Iowa. And then Huntsville came around. You're like, hey, I got Jeremy down there, but you can help. I'm going to be back and forth between stores. What do you think? Can you come down here? And I was like, no, I'm not coming to Alabama. And then about 18 months ago, 2 years ago, you said, hey, what do you think about doing one in the Midwest? And at that point, I said, I'm all in. And if that's the case, I'm all in. So the growth has encouraged what is, coming in Iowa. So Southern Mud of the Midwest is a thing. We are open and operating. We have a lease agreement right now with a guy that we're just kind of using his commercial space in the short term. Mm-hmm. But we have purchased property and plan on building the same beautiful facilities we've always built for Southern Mud. So our store will match, just like our Waverly and our Huntsville stores. Yeah. The design is done. The site work, the elevations are shot. A lot of the site work is done. And just dealing with the city and engineers and getting everything kind of rolling. Yeah. So this is a city you grew up in, or town, I guess you could say. It's right outside of Davenport, Iowa. Bluegrass, Iowa.
Bluegrass, Iowa. And, you kind of learn kind of stuff I've learned along the way. Sometimes, starting out in your hometown isn't always the best thing. And it's kind of been a slippery slope or something like that. But that's to be expected. We're used to that. So it's kind of put us behind a little bit, but it ain't slowed us down none, I can tell you that.
No, it has not. And already, like I said, it's open and operating. We've sold a couple AODs up there. We've got a couple duck boats pre-sold. Things are in production right now, so we got boats coming. Most of which are taking phone calls every day, trying to put in orders because people want them.
Yeah, and what I like is too, you bring to the table, not only you've done essentially what I've done my whole life, tricked out stuff for friends and whatever, and just, you even did it as, a side job with the fire department. So, you already know all this just like I did. You learned the hard way. You had to teach yourself. You learned how to not mess up and how to do things right so customers didn't come back and have problems, and built a name, that you kept and kept and kept. So it's, goes right along with, what else Southern Mud's about. So it's really cool.
And that experience for me is, the mechanical side, the construction side, like having the background like you had as far as, we both, you think about that. Like, I went to automotive school and did upholstery and body work and things of that nature. And then I worked in aviation for a while doing upholstery. And then I worked in mechanics doing an auto body or an auto shop. And then, got into the ambulance and then ended up going full-time fire, and then, but kept that alive in the home shop, and doing that side work, like you said, and keeping doing lights and upholstery and just making things look good. That's what I've always loved to do.
Mm-hmm. And it's really cool. With your connections and everything, everything just adds to the name and making the product better, and, the experience for the customer and the expertise, because across all platforms you have, the expertise of the catfish, and, we can always fall back on you on getting the right thing for catfish, and, you're going to be bring a big thing to the Midwest, with the catfish and tricking out catfish boats like no other. Still continuing that Southern Mud theme.
And again, that's all connection based, right? Like, it's for you and I both, like our friends that we've made, people that we've fished with, people we've hunted with, like you just start to kind of steamroll those things and get that education by knowing great people.
Yeah.
And because of those connections and things that have led to, business connections that we didn't even know were going to be connections, that we've recently reached out and talked to people and done some things.
Yeah.
And
we had Sea Arc, come hunt with us this year, and had a great time with them. And, that was through all your connections and catfishing and tournaments, and, I guess your reputation more than anything. You had the reputation. Heck, they all will tell you that.
Yeah.
So you definitely do what you say you're going to do. So I think it's going to be a awesome journey up there, and you're definitely going to kill it. That's no question. But
we're excited. We got a gator tail coming. It's a full build. It's ready. It's getting everything.
Yeah.
So
it ain't going to be long, guys, for that Southern Mud start showing up at the boat ramp up there. You'll see them big stickers, and definitely see boats like y'all have never seen up there. I can guarantee you that. And what's really cool too is you're like a hub. Down here we got competition everywhere. There's a dealership on every corner, it seems like. But up there, you're going to rule, and then
especially with them name brands that we're bringing. There's not a whole lot of dealers up there that carry some of the stuff that the other Southern Muds carry. So being able to bring that market to the up north a little bit closer. We're already selling boats up there. Southern Mud's already putting boats in that area. It's just the fact that they got to go a long way to get them.
That's right.
So bringing that closer to home and being able to do that's exciting.
Yeah, and to have all the manufacturers on board and excited about Southern Mud getting in the area, and I think it's going to be really good. It's definitely going to keep a lot of the competition out, because they're not going to be able to compete with you. I can tell you that.
That's what. And obviously, we don't need necessarily a pat on the back by any sort of means. It's not about that. But having these conversations, doing the training I've been doing, traveling around to talk to our dealers and things of that nature, and meeting some people, like the confidence that they have. It's like reassuring to the fact that, like, no, this is really good. This is a great thing. Like, and you hear it from all aspects. It wasn't just like one person or two people. Like, everybody we've talked to is like, this is good, like, for all involved.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man, I appreciate you coming on, and I think it's going to be cool. Everyone can go to social media, Southern Mud of the Midwest. Is that right?
Yep, Southern Mud Midwest, yep.
And that's on Instagram, TikTok, everything?
Yep, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
And Brandon Schadt, don't forget that. And if y'all need anything up there, definitely give him a call. He'll definitely be picking up the phone until he gets his full team together up there. But if anyone's needing, what's all the brands we're going to carry up there? We got
Sea Arc, we got Havoc, we got Avid, All Weld, Gator Tail, Edges. We'll have Tohatsu engines. We can get Mercury engines
all of them.
in packages.
Suzuki.
Yep, Suzuki.
All the Aodes buggies, Greenworks buggies.
Spartan mowers are on the way. I better get home soon, because I think they're on the truck. They're getting ready to drop off.
Yeah, they will be there. Spartan mowers, the best in the industry, of course. Killing that market right now. So, it's exciting. If anybody needs anything, get a hold of Brandon. We're glad to have him down here, and you'll see him later on future episodes, I'm sure. And I appreciate you coming, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.